Welcome back, gents, to another one. It's the other guy. Feel like I haven't spoke to y'all in a long time. But yeah, I wanted to tell y'all, if she says she's celibate, right? Or she's holding out till marriage, I want to tell you, run. Run for the hills. But here's why I'm going to tell you to run for the hills, right? Is because if she came to the conclusion that she's celibate today in 2025, right? It's not because she's never had intercourse before. I'm banking that it's not because she's never had intercourse before. Ladies especially, I want to tell y'all this. I love the message. I love the message that women should hold out. Wait for marriage. Do not have sex at all. Wait to see if a guy is worthy enough, right, for him to have sex with. Wait for him to propose. I agree with that message wholeheartedly. The problem with that message and spreading that message today is that you cannot spread that message saying that you want to hold out, but you're telling 19, 20-year-old women that they have a whole lot of life to live and that they should not be worried about being locked down now, right? And they should be having the freedom to see and have sex with whoever they want to be with. See, those two don't go hand in hand. If you came and you said, oh, you know what, I've made mistakes in the past, right? I understand your mistakes. I understand that you might have said, hey, I slept with and I had a baby by somebody that was not right for me, and I make sure I don't want to do that again, right? That is your message, and I understand that. But the problem with that is you're convincing the same woman before the fact that they have child that they should go out here and live off and freak off and do whatever the fuck they want to do. And that's what I don't approve of. That's why I don't approve of the message. The message is always after the fact that you've made a mistake that you cannot take back, right? And then you expect a man to say, hey, I want you to cherish my abstinence. Why didn't you cherish your abstinence before that? Why aren't you telling young women and holding women up to the standard now, the young woman of today that never had sex? Why aren't you praising them and telling them to keep going? Do not have sex. Hold out. Wait for the right man to come along, right? Instead, you're telling them that there's a lot of money being made right now that you could be making using your body. You could be having a lot of fun right now instead of being worried, stuck on that one guy that's back at home, right? You could be off in college and there's so much more guys to see. You're telling them to make the same mistake that you have made. That's why I don't respect your celibacy. See, there's this word going around that's saying, I get it. I understand. Why would you go about giving free appetizers out, right, and expect a man to buy an entree, right? Well, you got to put more context behind that. You feel me? You got to put more context because you're feeding the man. You're giving the appetizer out. You're letting him test try it, and then eventually, after a while, he's good. He don't want to, he don't want no food anymore. He's full now, so he don't want to buy nothing from you. So at the end of the day, you get nothing, right? I get that, right? But you make other brothers came through the picture, and they ate for free. They had the whole entree for free. Why would I want to come, or why would any brother want to come to that establishment? See, we don't want you after the fact, right? We shouldn't have to put respect on your abstinence after the fact, and we have to respect it. No, because men could just go for a virgin that has never had sex before. But y'all shame men for doing that as well, which leads to my next topic. Y'all shame men for wanting virgins, but you want men to value your abstinence after you gave the box up. It does not make sense. So what bottlenecks you into one position, and it tells it all. You want to make all the mistakes that you could possibly make, right? Just to hope someday, somehow, that a real man is gonna come out the fucking sky, burst out the clouds on a fucking Pegasus, pick you up and save you and take your baggage with you, right? And save you from all the distress that you put on yourself. That's what we have a problem with. That's what we have a problem with. You're not holding young women, and y'all not looking out for another. That's the next topic. Y'all aren't holding young women and teaching them this is not the way to go. Nah, y'all telling them to go off and have fun and live your life to your fullest and sleep with who you want to. That's the problem. But let me go into the woman don't look out for other women. I want to really talk about that. So this is, right? This is what's been going on, especially, you know, with this Cassie and Diddy, you know, Sean Combs case, right? That's been going on, and it's really been showing me a lot of stuff too, right? There's a huge narrative, right, with Cassie, you know, either if she's a victim or she's not a victim, she's just real freaky and all that. Let me tell you something. Both things could be true at the same time. Somebody asked him, was just like, y'all think Cassie just freaky or she a victim? Both things could be true. You could have been freaky, right? You could have did all that kind of stuff. You could have liked all that kind of stuff, and it could have led you into the wrong hands, into the wrong man, right? It could have opened doors to the wrong people, right? And you could have been a victim from that, or you could have been a victim and you end up liking that freaky stuff. You feel me? Eventually, both things could be true. But one thing I will say this, Diddy did do it, right? He did. There ain't no question without it. He did all the horrible stuff. And I am a man, and I understand that I have the male power, right? So I don't know how it is to be, as you feel me, as a woman that walks around thinking every day, you know, being fearful of the opposite sex. I don't know what that feels like, but I will tell you this. What we're hearing, what's being released now, before and after the fact, Cassie done revealed that there were numerous opportunities for her to leave the situation now. Considering the fact that she had said that there were other women that she were jealous of, right? And she did not want to lose her spot. So she did what she could. Meaning, while the abuse was going on, she said, I do not want to lose my spot. I do not want to be, I feel like a side chick. I want to be the main chick. And that pretty much seals the deal that there must be something worth keeping in order for her to deal with abuse, because she was abused. We all saw it. There's no denying that. Diddy is wrong, but it's what could be proven in court, right? And if the case is, if they're arguing that she stayed there willingly, that looks pretty bad on her, because that does show she's staying willingly, right? But let's go into the woman don't look out for one another. Let's go into it. The values that Cassie had, right? This is what I was leading to. She had exchanged that for the wealth and fame to be kept in a certain position, right? The position of power, to be in the position of that main girl. And she'd been with that man for 8+ years. She had went and she said she had sought out help and what she should do. And we've seen this many times before, that she addressed, and she went to Nicki Minaj, right? And Nicki Minaj said, girl, you rich. What the fuck you tripping about? You got money. Which leads to my next topic. You've made these exchanges. You valued all the wrong. You sold your body out for things that mean nothing, that take away your peace. And y'all are continuously telling other women to do, younger women that still have their purity to go ahead and sell their stuff out for the same exact things that you are very regretful now, while trying to preach that we as men and real men only should respect the fact that you're celibate and hold it to a high regard and wait out at the end of the day. And this will lead to my last topic. Cassie has a man, a husband, right, that she's pregnant by currently right now. A long time ago, remember when news came out that she was moving on and she finally found a husband, and that man married her in 6 months, and Diddy couldn't do it in 8 years. You should have seen what everybody was talking about. Oh my God, see, real men know what they want from a woman. It don't have to take that long. It didn't have to take 8 years. She was wasting her time all along, right? She was wasting her time. And in the back of my head, I know how this goes. Alpha fucks beta bucks. And let's just say Diddy, yeah, Diddy got money. But rules are rules, right? So I'm like, Diddy done had every way of her. And this was before everything even came out of how nasty this guy was, how much of a terrible human this guy is. Just knowing that he had 8 years and he never took her to that next step, marriage or what say, right? And this guy did it in 6 months. I just knew it was going to be terrible for him. And then now adding to it how terrible Diddy was as a person, and just to have her 8 years, right? Still, even when she was seeing her husband today, still be in communication, in contact with Diddy, sleeping with Diddy while she was dating her new husband today, proves the point. You go to trash men, right? You lead off with trash men, have babies by absolute trash men, right? Leads you to a point of distress. Now you want to wait out, hold out, right, for the next man, a real true man, all for him to pick up all your burdens and struggles that you've now bought on him. Now he has to deal with that trauma. And you're shaming men for not wanting to do that. That's what a lot of men are dealing with today, right? And yeah, man, that's just disingenuous. Teach young women now that their purity should be something that they should keep up and maintain, right? You watch how much this world would change and how much brothers will be living to get in line, right? And watch the natural order be restored. Watch men pursue and give men a reason to pursue. You're going to watch men pursue yet again if you hold the purity to a high standard before the fact and not after the fact. Like, comment, subscribe. Be easy.